Hi everyone, welcome to another exciting week in calculus. Notice we have live class every day, Monday through Friday from 9:30 until 10, and we typically go until around 10:15 as requested. Office hours are Tuesday from 10:15 to 11 a.m. and then on Friday afternoon from 2 to 3. So for this week, on Monday, we will complete or finish wrapping up the application of rates of change worksheet that we started last week. On Tuesday, there will be a review page that's 9 questions, and it will get you set up for Wednesday's class, which is your quiz on the average velocity, instantaneous velocity, and application of rates of change. Then on Thursday and Friday, we begin our new concept, which is the derivative. Quick review, just remember that the average rate of change, or the slope of the secant, is noted by the blue line that touches f of x in 2 locations. And then the instantaneous rate of change is the limit as h approaches 0 of f of a plus h minus f of a all over h. So anytime you're asked to find an instantaneous rate of change, you are taking the limit. The average rate of change, or the slope of the secant, it's just using the regular slope formula. Quick review about free fall and projectile motion. Those are the 2 formulas that you need for projectile motion. So you want to make sure again that you have those in your notes and you're using the correct one. If you're given feet and seconds, you use the h of t equals negative 16 t squared equation. If you're given meters per second, you use the negative 4.9 t squared function. So we will be getting into a concept called the derivative. What is the derivative? Well, if you take a look at the formula, the derivative is the limit as the change in x approaches 0 of f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x. Now that looks very similar. Technically, what we have been doing for the past few weeks is finding a derivative. We just didn't call it that. We called it an instantaneous rate of change. So you will now learn that the slope of the tangent is the instantaneous rate of change, and it is also known as the derivative. So there are some different ways to write a derivative, and they are all shown right here. The derivative can be called f prime of x. It can be called dy dx. It can be called y prime. It can be called d dx of f of x, and it can be called the derivative with respect to x of y. So there are 5 different ways to show the derivative of a function. Remember, all of those meaning instantaneous rate of change. This brings up the concept of continuity. In order for a function to have a derivative or be differentiable, the function has to be continuous. So if there is a derivative, then you know that the function is continuous. The left-sided limit and the right-sided limit are equal. We will also get into some rules about derivatives. And I had promised for about a week or so that we would find shortcuts for calculating these limits as h approaches 0, and these will be some of our shortcuts. We will learn something called the constant rule. We will also learn the power rule. Then there's something called the constant multiple rule, and these may look a little bit intimidating, but as we use them this week and over the course of the next few weeks, you will find that they're actually rather simple and they make our lives so much easier. So we will also learn that we can find the derivative of polynomials simply by adding together each individual derivative. So that's it for the week. When you look in Schoology, you see a number of things listed. Don't want you to be overwhelmed by what you see. I do want to point out that this piece here is just watching the video. The video gets you set up to complete CYU 3. In L4, you are just asked to watch the first video. That will get you set up to complete CYU 4. And if you watch those videos before class, then you will be a little more prepared when you actually get to class. Notice here is our quiz. It is 50 points. It is on rates of change. You will be required to show your work and apply the concepts that we have been using in the course so far. We will have live class on Wednesday, and I will keep it open as a time blocked out for you to complete your quiz. And that's it for the week. So be sure to stop by live class and message me, email me, or visit the drop-in center if you have any questions.